What's up, strongest men, women, and children from blocks all around the world? I am my block's strongest man, and this is the greatest time of the year for strength sports, World's Strongest Man 2021.
Ciao, homie.
So today we're going to be talking about the 2021 World's Strongest Man predictions, specifically the World's Strongest Man 2021 qualifiers predictions and what the World's Strongest Man 2021 groups are. We'll also talk about the World's Strongest Man 2021 events and how they play out for each of the groups. So tonight we're going to discuss World's Strongest Man 2021 Group 4 predictions. So who's in Group 4 of World's Strongest Man 2021? Well, it's Adam Bishop, Terry Hollins, Konstantin Janasha, Jerry Pritchett, and Chris van der Linde. So what are our predictions for this group in World's Strongest Man 2021? Who's going to go through to the World's Strongest Man final? Well, let's go through some of their prep analysis, and then we'll talk about kind of blending that with what they've done in the recent past and who we think is going to do what. So looking at the frame loading medley, I didn't really see any of that practice from Adam Bishop on either front. However, we can go through what he's done recently at World's Strongest Man to get an idea. So if we have a look here, I have the results from last year's World's Strongest Man, and there was, albeit a different loading medley, but there was a loading medley with monster truck parts last time around. And you can see Adam did very well. He's very fast with the loading medley. If you compare him to everybody on the list, you had Tom Stoltman the fastest, then Ivars, then Luke, then Maxime, then Kevin Ferris, Alexi, and then Adam. None of these guys above him are in his group this time. So Adam, may very well be the fastest loader in this particular group. Again, the medley is different this time, but keeping that in mind. Where's everybody else that's in this group, by the way? Terry Holland is down here. Again, not slow, but not as quick as Adam Bishop. And then we have Jerry Pritchett down here. So not quite as fast as the other guys. And then we have Konstantin Janasha and Chris van der Linde, who did not compete last year. So those are our points of comparison. Going back to what we've seen in prep, I see Terry Hollins did a 320 kilo frame for 40 feet in about 8 seconds, very fast. Konstantin Janasha did a 375 kilo frame. Jerry Pritchett did 291 kilo farmers, which again, you could argue are more difficult in a frame. So, I wouldn't know how much to add to make it equal a frame, but keep that in mind. Chris van der Linde had 100 kilos per hand plus the weight of the farmer handle, which is undisclosed. And then we move into the deadlift. So Chris van der Linde is known for being an incredible deadlifter. He did a 420 kilo for 1, which would be 340 for about 8 if 420 was his peak. It was done, I believe, in competition. So let's say that was his peak. Jerry Pritchett, I saw doing a 421 kilo, so 1 kilo more for 1 rep, although that was prep, not competition. Jerry may be capable of more. Konstantin did a 440, although it looked like it was an 18-inch. So, maybe slightly better than the other 2 lifts there, or maybe not so much because it was, a much higher than a traditional 9-inch. And then Terry Hollins did a 425 kilo for 1. Terry's really become quite an impressive deadlifter. And then you have Adam Bishop, of course, the perennial great deadlifter, 370 kilos for 6 in prep. So all these guys pretty close to, if you equal it all out with each other, maybe with the exception of Janasha because he did an 18-inch. But the other guys pretty close to each other in terms of, let me say this right. They're all incredible deadlifters. So I'm not comparing, Jerry Pritchett and saying like, oh, he's not as good because these other guys are in his league. No, these are some of the best deadlifters in the whole competition are unbelievably all in this group. In fact, Hale Beck did a video about this very topic. So very hard to pick that there. Moving into the squat, we saw Janasha doing 320 kilos for 3 on an axle. And we saw Chris van der Linde doing an undisclosed amount for 4 reps. Fingal's fingers, I saw Adam Bishop blowing through them really fast, but they look shorter than the fingers the other guys were using. So potentially not as heavy as what will be at World's Strongest Man. Terry Hollins did, again, an undisclosed amount for 8. His looked a little bit longer than what Adam had. Although, who knows? You know, they train together. Maybe they purchased from the same company. Maybe they are the same fingers. I don't know. Train pull. Terry Hollins broke a bus pull world record at one point, so that's something to keep in mind. I don't know what that record was, but, you know, definitely a force to be reckoned with there. And Constantine was pulling 4 BMWs for 20 meters and also did a pretty big truck pull in prep. So actually, if you add up 4 BMWs, it's not that much. If the cars are 4,000 pounds each, that's 16,000 pounds, which is nothing for a strongman. But, you know, just keeping that in mind. And then moving on to the overhead medley, we saw Terry Hollins do 112 kilo dumbbell for 1, which, if I'm not mistaken, is a big improvement for him. Like, he's not notoriously great at circus dumbbell, and that's a good weight for him. He's probably been really working on it, so good for him. Constantine, 100 kilos for 3. And then on the overhead medley circus barbell portion, we saw Terry doing a 145 kilo for 1 and Constantine doing a 160 for 1. Then on the axle, it looks like, you know, pretty much everybody except Chris got in on the action here. Chris actually mentioned to me in our interview that he's keeping everything close to the vest and private, so we won't see a lot of comparisons there. But Adam Bishop did a seated 130.5 kilo plus 70 kilo bands. So I kind of averaged that out to be 165.5 for 2. You know, taking the average of what the band is at 0 and at fully stretched and saying in the middle is more or less what it is, even though it doesn't quite work that way. 145 kilos for 1 for Terry Hollins, 160 for 1 for Constantine, 150 for 2 for Jerry, making it look very easy. And again, undisclosed weight for Chris. He did prep with it, but we don't know what the weight was. Moving into the pickaxe, I didn't see any of these guys doing a front hold. And then with stones, Adam Bishop did the 210 stone that'll be the heaviest in this run for 3 reps. So doing very well there. Terry Hollins did a 210 for 1. Constantine, I didn't see him practicing stones, and he may have after I did this analysis, but he took 3rd place in a 5-stone run at Siberian Power Show, which admittedly is a different format than World's Strongest Man. But in terms of the ability to get through to the finals, it matters. It matters quite a lot. Jerry Pritchett did a 159 kilo for, get this, 11 reps. 159 is not that heavy, but 11 reps is extremely impressive. And then Chris did a 205 kilo stone during his prep. So all that being said, what does that say in terms of predictions for who gets through to the finals? Well, I'll tell you, it's Jerry Pritchett and Adam Bishop. So here's why. In the frame loading medley, I have Adam Bishop, the speedy Adam Bishop, winning that event with 5 points, 4 going to Terry Hollins, who is also extremely good at that event when he's not injured. I think he actually had an injury at the Shaw Classic and didn't do well at the frame, but typically he's good at this. 3 points to Jerry Pritchett, who also has a solid frame, maybe slower with the loading portion, or else I'd have him probably winning this event. But I think Adam Bishop more than takes over on the loading portion. And then 2 points going to Constantine Janasha and 1 to Chris van der Linde. Big Loz made a really good point when we were talking. This is Chris's first time at World's Strongest Man, and World's Strongest Man is a kind of a different beast. Big Loz talks about this all the time in terms of the start-stop nature of it and unpredictability. And guys who haven't been there yet just don't know what to expect, and you can't predict them to win their groups or win events when they've never done it before against guys that have been there many times before. So moving on, this group gets the deadlift. So, hey, good for them. Go battle it out, guys. I have Jerry Pritchett winning the deadlift and everybody else tied for second. This one's too close to call. They might all tie each other. Who knows? These guys are all incredible deadlifters, but that's my prediction there. Jerry wins, even if by a rep, and everybody else kind of ties for second place there. Then we have the Fingal's fingers that I think Big Loz and I kind of have a similar thought process here. Jerry's a fairly tall, stocky, heavy guy, can probably overcome the inertia and get those fingers going. I haven't seen him prep with it, but we both seem to have a good feeling about him with that. I gave Constantine 4 points because he is tall and massive, and if he comes in shape and feeling well, he should be able to do well with that. 3 to Adam Bishop. Again, his fingers that he prepped with look small, but he was fast with them, so I have to give him some credit. 2 to Terry Hollins and 1 to Chris van der Linde. And then we move to the overhead medley. So I have Jerry Pritchett winning the overhead medley. His overhead pressing power is very impressive. I have Adam Bishop second there with 4 points, 3 for Constantine, 2 for Chris van der Linde, and 1 to Terry Hollins. And then the pickaxe hold, again, the enigma among the events. I have Jerry Pritchett winning this event. I then have Adam Bishop with 4 points. I have 3 points going to Terry Hollins, 2 to Chris van der Linde, and 1 to Konstantin Janasha. Again, for lack of evidence of ever seeing him do this before, I feel like the big tall guy with the long arms will have a difficult time of this compared to the others. So that's how it all shakes out. Jerry Pritchett wins the group outright, and then Adam Bishop ends up in a stone off with either Konstantin or Terry Hollins because they're both tied at 12.5 points apiece. And the way I broke that tie was the pickaxe hold. So I have 3 points going to Terry Hollins and 1 point to Konstantin in the pickaxe, which means Terry goes up against his buddy Adam Bishop in the stone off, and I have Adam winning the stone off. So Jerry Pritchett and Adam Bishop from Group 4 go through to the World's Strongest Man 2021 Finals. Let me know in the comments below if you agree with everything I've said or you disagree with everything I've said. Love to hear from you either way. And of course, until next time when I do Group 5 predictions, ciao, homie.
So if you like this video and haven't done so yet, please consider subscribing using that button right there. And also stay tuned for some other videos that you might love blooping up right there. This one is the one that YouTube thinks that you will like the best, and this one is the one that I think you will like the best. As always, share this with everyone, and until next time, ciao, homie.